All right, so we're diving into Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh, a classic.
It is. You guys provided us with this 1873 adventure novel.
Oh,
And I'm really interested to see how Verne tackles the logistics of global travel in the 19th century.
yeah,
But we're not just talking trains and steamships, right? There's a lot more to unpack here.
definitely. There's character analysis,
Yeah.
social commentary,
Huh?
all woven into this really classic tale.
Right.
What really strikes me is how Verne captures a world on the cusp of like a technological revolution. Like, you've got the expansion of railways, the rise of steamships,
Mm-hmm.
all points to this shrinking globe where travel time is rapidly changing.
Yeah.
And through Phileas Fogg's journey, we really see the opportunities and the challenges of this transformation.
It's true. I mean, Verne predicted this shift in global connectivity, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's meet our main character, Phileas Fogg. Wealthy Englishman living in London, and boy, oh boy, his life is all about routine.
Absolutely. Verne describes him as like a bearded, tranquil Byron
Mm.
who might live 1,000 years. He's methodical,
Mm-hmm.
like down to his core. His daily schedule is planned meticulously, right down to the minute.
I was going to say.
Like even his servant has, there's a program on his wall outlining Fogg's entire day.
Wow.
From waking up at 8 a.m. to, everything,
Everything.
down to his precise dining habits at the Reform Club.
Oh, yeah, the Reform Club. That's important. I mean, can you imagine having tea and toast at exactly 23 minutes past 8 every single day?
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
I mean, that's commitment.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And, his house is a reflection of that too, right? It's all about this order and precision. You've got the mosaic flooring, circular gallery, porphyry columns.
Yep.
I mean, it practically screams like control,
Well, yeah, and don't forget his insistence on having ice from American lakes at the Reform Club.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even in his luxuries, he demands the very best, the most specific.
Right. Like even his ice has to be very specific.
It does, yeah. What does that tell you about Fogg as a character?
I think he's trying to impose order on a world that's inherently chaotic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That makes his sudden wager at the Reform Club even more fascinating.
Oh, absolutely.
He bets that he can circumnavigate the globe in 80 days.
80 days. And for someone so obsessed with routine,
Right.
it's a bold move.
It is.
The stakes are high. We're talking 20,000 pounds.
Wow.
His fellow club members are skeptical, especially Andrew Stewart. Like,
Oh.
can he really pull this off? But Fogg, unwavering confidence, declares, the unforeseen does not exist.
It's like he's challenging fate.
He is.
Yeah. He thinks he can control every single aspect of his journey.
And to accompany him on this grand adventure, he hires a new valet, a Frenchman named Passepartout.
Oh, Passepartout. Now talk about a clash of personalities.
I know, right? Passepartout, he's such a great counterpoint to Fogg's stoicism.
He is. I mean, he's looking for a peaceful life, which, ironically, is completely upended the moment he's hired.
Right. Talk about irony.
Remember that hilarious scene where he nearly drops Fogg's 20,000 pounds carpet bag?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. Like, you can just see the panic on his face.
Right. Verne really uses humor well to highlight the differences between these two characters.
Yeah, he does.
And as they set off, the public reaction to the wager is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I mean, you have British newspapers, some supporting Fogg,
Right.
some calling him a madman.
Right.
It's like, can he do it?
I mean, back then, global travel was still a pretty daunting concept for a lot of people.
That's true. It was very new.
Yeah. And for many, Fogg's wager just seemed like an impossible feat.
Well, and then on top of all of that, there's another layer of intrigue added to the story with the introduction of Detective Fix,
Yes, Detective Fix.
who suspects Fogg of being the bank robber
Oh, right.
that recently stole 55,000 pounds.
Yeah,
And Fix uses, some shady tactics to try to delay Fogg.
he does. He's constantly questioning Passepartout, trying to gather evidence, hoping to get Fogg arrested.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely adds this layer of suspense to the whole story.
It does. So the journey begins.
Okay.
Our trio embarks on the Mongolia, sailing across the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Passepartout, Initially, he's worried about this whirlwind pace of travel.
Uh-huh.
But even he finds himself enjoying the opulent dining and the leisurely pace of the voyage.
It's interesting, right? Because we see this contrast between the meticulous planning of Fogg's itinerary
Oh, yeah.
and the realities of, like, 19th century sea travel.
Yeah.
But despite the comfort, they still arrive in Bombay 2 days ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
And Fogg, of course, meticulously notes this detail in his itinerary.
Well, of course, because that's Fogg.
Right.
But things don't stay smooth for long. They hit a major snag when their train journey across India is disrupted, forcing them to find alternative transportation.
Yeah. This is where we see Fogg's resourcefulness.
Right.
He doesn't hesitate.
Nope.
Buys an elephant for, get this, 2,000 pounds to continue their journey.
An elephant.
An elephant.
Wow. Okay, so that's not your everyday mode of transport.
Not at all. But it leads them to witness a sati ritual
Oh, right.
where a young widow, Auda, is about to be sacrificed.
Right, and this event, it's more than just a plot point, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I mean, it's a commentary on these cultural clashes and complex social issues that arise from British colonialism.
Absolutely.
It's like Verne's highlighting these stark realities of a world in transition where cultures and beliefs are colliding.
Yeah, a world in flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Fogg, along with Sir Francis Cromarty, a fellow traveler they meet along the way,
Okay.
and Passepartout, they bravely intervene to rescue Oda.
It's a daring rescue. It shows this compassion and courage that we didn't really see from Fogg before.
Right.
And Passepartout, he impersonates the deceased Raja
Wow.
to save her life. I mean, talk about dedication.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, yeah. So their journey continues across India, finally reaching Calcutta precisely on schedule.
Fogg always on schedule.
Always. But then trouble finds them again. This time, it's Passepartout's arrest.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, remember back in Bombay, he unknowingly violated religious customs.
Oh, right. Poor Passepartout.
But Fogg, loyal as ever, steps up to help.
Well, that's good.
Not only Oda offering her protection, but his faithful servant, too.
It's a real turning point in their relationship.
Is.
You see this sense of responsibility from Fogg towards these people he's come to care for.
Yeah.
And Oda joins them,
She does.
solidifying this unlikely trio.
That's right.
They board the Rangoon, bound for Hong Kong, with Fix still lurking in the shadows.
Of course he is.
Much to Passepartout's suspicion. The adventure continues.
It does. It definitely does.
And things are only going to get more complicated from here.
Oh, I bet. But let's pause here for a second. Take it all in.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the next chapter of their adventure.
Okay. So we're back, diving deeper into Around the World in 80 Days.
Still on track with Fogg, Oda, Passepartout.
They're on the Rangoon.
Yep.
Headed for Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
But remember, Fix is still on their trail.
Oh.
And their arrival in Hong Kong, it's not exactly smooth sailing.
It's not, is it? What happens?
Well, Fogg misses his connection.
Oh, no.
Passepartout, you see, he gets drugged
What?
by Fix, unknowingly, of course,
Wow.
and it throws everything off.
So Fix is getting pretty desperate.
He is. He's really trying to stop Fogg.
Wow. And what about Passepartout?
Ends up alone in Yokohama,
Oh, poor guy.
trying to, survive, find his way back.
Yeah.
And he takes on all sorts of jobs.
Really?
I mean, he even becomes a clown.
A clown?
Yeah, in a Japanese acrobatic troupe.
I love Verne's sense of humor.
Me too. It's, he throws these curveballs at you.
Yeah. Keeps things interesting.
And Passepartout, he never loses his spirit.
He's resilient, isn't he?
He is very adaptable. But while all of this is happening,
Yeah.
Fogg,
Yeah.
resourceful as always, he secures passage on a small pilot boat
Uh-huh.
called the Tankadair
Oh, yeah.
to sail from Hong Kong to Shanghai.
Wow. So he's improvising.
He is. It's a risky move, but he's determined.
Determined to get back on schedule.
Yeah. And somehow they reunite in Yokohama.
Really?
It's incredible.
That's all odds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it speaks to both Fogg's determination
Uh-huh.
and Passepartout's loyalty. They just keep going.
They do. They journey across the Pacific to San Francisco aboard the General Grant. And that marks the halfway point of their trip.
Halfway around the world.
That's amazing. And Fogg, he hasn't shown any regret over lost time, has he?
No. He's totally focused on winning.
Yeah, it's Fogg.
But of course, their American adventure has its own set of hiccups.
Of course.
Passepartout's arrival in San Francisco is particularly memorable.
I bet. What happens?
He falls right through some planks on the pier.
Oh, no.
It's kind of funny, actually.
Well, yeah, as long as he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. But then they get caught up in this political brawl.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. between supporters of two candidates
Oh.
for justice of the peace.
Ah, that's very American, isn't it?
Very. It gives us this glimpse into the social and political climate of 19th century America.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Because naturally,
Uh-oh, I know that tone. What does Fogg do?
Fogg gets challenged to a duel
A duel.
by the man who insulted him, Colonel Proctor.
Of course he
It's
does.
like things just escalate so quickly.
Yeah.
But their duel is interrupted.
Oh,
Not once,
really?
but twice.
What happens?
First, by a Sioux attack.
A Sioux attack?
Yeah, on the train.
Wow, Verne really knows how to build suspense.
He does, doesn't he? I mean, the scene is chaotic.
Yeah.
Passengers are fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
The train is speeding across the plains.
That's terrifying.
And then all the commotion.
Yeah.
Passepartout gets separated.
Oh, no, not again.
I know, right? It's a real cliffhanger. It is what's going to happen. But Fogg, he really shows his true character here.
I was just thinking that.
Even with all the time lost,
Yeah.
he refuses to leave Passepartout behind.
Yeah, it's more than winning at this point.
Right.
He's loyal. He
Like-
gathers a rescue party,
He's...
goes back.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's incredible. So they find Passepartout.
They do. It's a relief, right?
It is, but now they're really behind schedule.
Yeah, they are. But what does Fogg do?
I don't know. What does he do?
He finds a wind-powered sledge.
A what?
A wind-powered sledge?
To travel across the frozen plain.
Yeah, to get to Omaha, Nebraska.
A wind-powered sledge? That's pretty ingenious.
Right. I mean, the guy is resourceful.
He is. So they make it to Omaha
Uh-huh.
and board a train eastward.
They do. And even with all the urgency, Verne throws in, some social commentary.
Oh, yeah, I love that about Verne.
Remember Elder William Hitch?
No.
He's a Mormon missionary.
Okay.
They meet him on the train.
Uh-huh.
And he gives this, impassioned lecture on Mormonism.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Right. It's this look into a religious group that was really misunderstood at the time.
That's true. Verne always seems to weave in these, these different perspectives.
He does, doesn't he? He really makes you think.
Yeah. And then, what's this? They run into Colonel Proctor again.
They do.
Of course they do.
And it almost leads to another duel
No way.
inside the train car.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous.
It's almost comical.
It is.
But the conductor interrupts them.
Again?
Yeah, again. It seems like fate just doesn't want these two to duel.
I guess not.
But finally,
Yeah.
they reach New York City.
They do.
They do. Just when you think, maybe they'll actually pull it off.
Yeah.
Disaster strikes.
What happens?
They miss the steamer
No.
to Liverpool.
By how much?
Just hours.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Oh.
After everything.
I know. It's a crushing blow. Fogg looks defeated.
Oh, man.
But Phileas Fogg, he's not one to give up easily.
That's true. He always has a plan.
He does. So Fogg missed the steamer to Liverpool, right?
Oh, it's looking pretty bleak, yeah.
But Fogg, he's not giving up.
He's got to have something up his sleeve.
Oh, he does. He charters the Henrietta.
Yeah, Henrietta.
Yeah. It's a small trading vessel headed for Bordeaux, France.
Wow, so a complete change of plans.
It is. It's a risk. But he's determined to finish this journey, even if it means going off course.
I mean, this is Fogg we're talking about, a man of precision and routine.
Right. And yet he's adapting, improvising.
It's like these challenges are revealing this whole other side of him.
Definitely. He's more than just a man of schedules.
Right.
He's a man of action when he needs to be.
And to prove it, he takes this resourcefulness even further.
What do you mean?
Remember, they're facing a fuel shortage.
Oh, right.
And to keep the ship going, Fogg orders the burning of the Henrietta's hull and spars.
He what?
Yeah, pretty drastic.
That's insane. I mean, to power the engines.
Yeah, it shows how committed he is.
I mean, he's willing to sacrifice anything to win this wager.
He's come a long way from that calm, collected gentleman at the Reform Club.
He has. This journey has transformed him.
So they reach Queenstown, Ireland, right?
They do.
Where's
Finally,
it next?
from there, it's a mad dash to London by train and ferry.
Okay, so they're almost home free.
You'd think so,
Oh,
but detective fix.
I'd almost forgotten about him.
Right.
What does he do?
Well, he finally catches up to Fogg
Where?
in London
No way.
and arrests him.
What? Why?
Still convinced he's the bank robber.
Oh, that's terrible. After all this,
It's a classic case of mistaken identity.
right at the finish line.
But the truth comes out.
It does.
The real robber's been caught.
Oh, thank goodness.
Fix realizes his mistake, releases Fogg.
So Fogg is free to go.
He is, but now is in a desperate race against time to reach the Reform Club before the deadline.
I I can't even imagine.
It's down to the wire.
Does he make it?
He arrives at the Reform Club just moments after the deadline,
Oh,
believing he's lost.
it's heartbreaking.
I know, right? After everything.
All that effort for nothing?
Well, not quite. Passepartout steps in with some news.
News? What kind of news?
He realizes they've miscalculated the date.
What? How?
Traveling eastward, across time zones.
Ah, the time zones.
It's actually Saturday, not Sunday.
So-
They've arrived a full day earlier than they thought.
I won.
They did.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing.
Right. It's this incredible twist. And it hinges on this concept of time zones, which was pretty new back then.
It really was. Verne was ahead of his time.
He was. Their victory, it's not just about the physical journey.
Oh,
It's about challenging our perception of time and space.
that's deep.
Right. It makes you think our understanding of the world is always changing, shaped by new discovery.
Exactly. And Fogg, he set out to conquer time, but it's his understanding of time that saves him.
It's a brilliant irony.
But beyond the wager and the time zones,
Yeah.
Fogg's journey is about personal transformation too, isn't it?
Absolutely. He starts out so solitary.
Right, a man of routine, isolated.
Yeah. But he returns to London a changed man.
Yeah, I mean, he's formed these genuine bonds with Passepartout and Aouda.
He has.
Yeah.
He's learned to adapt, to embrace the unexpected.
He's more compassionate, generous.
Definitely. And even Fix. He ends up playing a role in Fogg's success.
That's true. Our perceptions of others can change.
They can. But didn't Fogg win a lot of money?
He did, £20,000.
Right.
But he spends almost all of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, on travel expenses, rescuing Passepartout and Aouda, even sharing some with Fix.
So it wasn't about the money for him?
Not really. It was about pushing boundaries, testing himself, experiencing the world.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Around the World in 80 Days.
It's a timeless story.
It
It reminds us that the world is full of adventure.
And even in a world that's constantly shrinking, there's always more to discover, to learn.
Always.
Yeah.
And as you explore the world, whether it's, physically or through a book,
Yeah.
remember the lessons of Phileas Fogg?
Embrace the unexpected.
Challenge your limits.
Never underestimate the power of human connection.
Exactly.